Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to end the All That Drone series this season, and next week is going to be a new series, and that's all about gimbal and gimbal moves, so stay tuned for that. And for our final episode, we're going to talk about my 5 personal tips on how to fly your drone safely. Now, some of you might not agree on what I'm about to mention on some of the items, but these are based on my personal experience as a drone owner. So please pardon me ahead, and of course feel free to comment in the comment section below about your opinion. So let's get this started. Roll intro. But first, click on the subscribe button and turn the notification bell. So number 1, drones are not for kids. And as far as I'm concerned, I am not particular if there is any restriction when it comes to kids having a drone. If you know the age limit, please let us know in the comment section below. Now, there are many types of drones out there, and definitely there are drones that are for kids. I myself bought a drone for kid as a gift, but I'm talking about drones as big and as huge as this Mavic Pro, and I definitely can say that these are not for kids. I have to tell you one story that one time when I went back to the Philippines, I had one of my nieces came up to me, and she really wanted to fly, to test and to play with my drone. I was very hesitant at first, but eventually I lent her this drone. But of course, I showed her the basic moves, up and down, left and right, those basic controls, and with my supervision, I let her fly my drone. But inadvertently, she flicked one of the controls, and the drone just went berserk and went straight to her face. I jumped and I rushed straight to her to protect her from the drone, but it was too late. Luckily for her, she ducked down and she was wearing a headband, and it protected her from the propellers to cause any damage or any scratch. But that incident was very eye-opening to me. I realized that drones are not meant for kids. I mean, I'm talking about drones such as this Mavic Pro. So the next time one of the kids will come to me, I will never ever lend this drone. So number 2, return to home. I don't like much the return to home function. Here's the reason why. Well, of course, I had another incident with the return to home function. So let me explain to you shortly about how the return to home function works. So when the drone is lifted to take off, it saves the information of its current location. Let's just say it is called its home point or home location. And it also saves its displacement. So when the drone moves 1 meter to the left, it moves 1 meter back to the right when you press that return to home button. Similarly, if you move 1 meter to the left and move 5 meters forward, if you press the return to home button, it will pitch 5 meters backwards and 1 meter to the right and land to the ground. In my experience, I had an accident where, let's just say, my drone went 1 meter to the left, and a strong wind drifted my drone 2 meters to the left, and without knowing, there was a building a meter away from where I was flying. When I pressed the return to home button, the propellers hit the edge of the building, and my drone shot down, and it just plummeted straight to the ground at gravity speed. So I highly suggest that you only press the return to home button on unavoidable situations. So another experience of mine is I had an accident flying indoors. I had scratches when, I was trying to hold the drone. And again, there is no specific rule that you cannot fly your drone inside or you cannot fly your drone indoors. Again, that is of course depending on the type of drones you have. But with Mavic Pro, this is a heavy piece of metal, because these propellers can incur serious cuts and injuries. So it is better to install propeller guards on these propellers. So you can go as far as hovering and maybe take a selfie or two. But then again, I'd say I cannot recommend you to fly your drone indoors. Number 4, the tripod mode. So the tripod mode is one of my favorite intelligent flight modes, and I always use the tripod mode. Not only that it is safe, but your shots will look more cinematic with the tripod mode. So what happened with the tripod mode is speed is reduced to 1/10 of your regular speed. And how to enable the tripod mode? It is actually quite easy. I'll show you how.
Take off. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
And number 5, practice, and more practice. For me, ideally, the locations you should practice are those locations that are away from people, power lines, public transportations, and buildings. But those are already mentioned in our first episode of our drone series. I will of course link that episode in the description below. And for me, it is always safe to fly in a location where there is a vast horizon in front of you. And I feel like drones are created to take shots of those huge, majestic, scenic and empty landscapes. But of course, there are people who take shots of buildings or top views of intersections. Practice more on tracking and those automatic functions in drones, such as those inside the intelligent mode. So that is it, guys, for the final episode of our series. My 5 personal tips on how to fly your drone safely. Once again, next week we're gonna talk about gimbals and gimbal moves. Till then, be safe and peace out.